Let's talk about Russia and Ukraine war. Russia, the largest country in the world, a nuclear-armed country whose military is ranked the second best military in the world and is formerly was part of the Soviet Union, whereas Ukraine is the second largest European country after Russia, was also the part of the Soviet Union, and now this country is the neighbor of the Russian Federation. Let's talk about Russian President Vladimir Putin. Who doesn't know about this guy? I mean, literally, this guy is in power for more than 2 decades. Myself, I'm 24 years old and I was not even born yet, and this guy was the Russian leader. He was in power since 1990s and still the most powerful man, not just in Russia but all over the world. And look at the other side, it's Ukraine, whose president's a funny actor, Zelensky. I meant the only reason this guy was elected as president in Ukraine was that he played a role of politician, a president in a movie, and people liked his acting, and I thought, why not? And the people just thought, why not just try this guy as president? Maybe he will change things around. Well, look how things have changed around. Zelensky made the biggest mistake in his life by messing with the wrong guy. And who is the guy here? I'm talking about Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, the only rule that is universal in the world is that you don't mess with Putin. Let's talk about the reason for the start of the Russian-Ukraine crisis. We all know United States and Russia are enemies, and United States have NATO. So let's talk about NATO. What is NATO? It is a military structure with an arrangement that if you are the part of the NATO and your country is in crisis, then all other NATO member countries will help that country in crisis. Does not matter if it's a war. Well, many European countries are now the member of NATO. You know how they say in America, keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. That's what America did. They know they cannot have weapons in the neighboring countries. So what if the neighboring countries become the part of NATO? And in this case, America will not have to worry about supply their weapons in case. Americans were in contact with Zelensky, and the main reason for that contact was that they wanted Ukraine to become part of NATO so that they can have easily access to the ground, to the weapons in case war starts. So American arms will be much closer to Russia in case. Russian President Vladimir Putin asked President Zelensky to stop and don't join NATO, but I think this guy clearly didn't listen. We all are familiar with the old Cuban Missile Crisis. Russia had missiles in Cuba, and we all know Cuba is so much closer to America and its metropolitan cities, American cities like New York. So most of the bigger cities, it was very easy for them to hit, whereas most people don't know. It was a reflexive action that Russia did for what America did to them. What America did was American had weapons in Turkey and Italy. This Russian-Ukraine crisis is much more like a Cuban Missile Crisis, because when your enemies get closer, you don't wait for them to attack. Russia is just defending itself from a kind of war which others cannot see. Russian president believes in the philosophy of hitting the first punch, because if you don't hit the first punch, your enemy will think you are weak. This war could have easily ended if America had assured President Putin that Ukraine will not be the part of NATO, but clearly that's not the case. I will get back to you guys sooner in new videos. Take care.